Haxra was saying right there as well. Haxra, it just seemed like the team itself is really, the synergy has really come together. The teamwork, the play style of one another, the atmosphere of the team. They feel like they're good friends now. They're playing well together, and that is showing in the game. So there are a couple of factors where you do think that tmsR actually has a pretty good shot here, no doubt. But it is hard to pick us against Stay Green at the same time. So, but Sender, game number 1 has officially started. So let's get into it. Let's take a look what is going on here so far. Ophelia, Scout, Tempest, Keeper of the Forest are the bans. Look at that first pick. Kraken coming out with the first pick from Too Much Sugar. So they were banning it yesterday against State Green, but they leave it unbanned and they actually pick it up themselves.
Yeah, I think both teams switched their bans quite a bit. At least one ban, and then they're switching their first picks around too. So it looks like both teams have a plan going into the game. And we'll just have to see how it pans out in the end.
Yeah, obviously these two teams. These two teams have definitely had a little bit of time now, and going into this whole event from the beginning, these two teams definitely expected to make the grand finals, I'm sure, and here they are. And so, with the strategies, this is the time to definitely bust something out completely different. And I think it's safe to say that at least one of these games, if not a couple, expect to see something pretty crazy from one of these teams in terms of just a completely different strategy, especially at it being best of 5 here, Sender. In fact, speaking of that, it's game number 1 in a best of 5. It's a straight-up best of 5. It's 0-0 right now. Could you say, this is the game where you try something crazy if you're going for it?
I don't think these teams are trying anything crazy. I think they're just switching up how they do the bans in their draft a little. They're playing differently to how they played each other yesterday, is what I'm trying to say. The tmsR draft looks a little bit like how they played against Lions when they beat them in the winter bracket.
Yeah.
So, I don't foresee anything, out of the world crazy, any new hero. Maybe a new hero, but I don't think we'll see it. I think it's more of they're just shifting their how they're banning and picking versus each other.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I think that the obviously that you really are talking about, especially that Ravener not being Dampier not being banned by State Green, and sure enough, they actually pick it up for themselves, and they also have Ravener on top of that. So yeah, this really is a different start here for State Green. And I mean, they get their carry right off the bat. They followed up with the Ravener pick for their mid, so it is a little bit different here as far as their draft is concerned. And what are your thoughts on that?
Um, they think that Dampier is a hero they just don't want to deal with, and they decided, I guess, since yesterday that Keeper is more worthy of a ban. So it's well, you can take the War Beast, you can take the Dampier. In this case, it's a Kraken, but we're gonna take that hero that we can't deal with if you don't take it, and that's probably why they took Dampier.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll just have to see if tmsR has a response. Can they deal with Dampier, or will this become a Dampier 600, 700 GPM by 20 minutes, and he'll just take over the game?
We'll see. We'll see what Dampier is able to do here, as Bubbles is the final pick from them. Pebbles was the final pick from Too Much Sugar. So Pebbles has been kind of interesting. I mean, he got that nerf. Initially, I think he kind of died off as that really go-to mid-hero, but it seems like he's been making a resurgence, and we see teams picking him up even before the next tier of bans coming out here. Do you think that's justified?
The reason he died off is because people were picking lanes to just to beat Pebbles, right? So naturally, the hero, he's gonna die off a little bit in the mid lane, but he's starting to come back a bit just because you're fitting him in when you can. And tmsR is just pretty confident. I guess they have engineer as it is right now, so they're probably thinking, well, we're pretty confident that we can do well against any lane because we have engineer supporting the Pebbles, and it is a pretty strong dual lane. They do have the burst damage to pretty much kill the support pretty easily at level 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk a little bit more about this Kraken pick. I think this is going to be Kazu's hero, because Warbeast was still in the pool, and he wasn't picked up in the first 3, which is really something new for tmsR. They usually take Warbeast in the first 3 whenever they get a chance, and the fact that he didn't is really telling that this is a suicide Kraken.
Yeah.
So that's a ban that SG really don't have to worry about on the Warbeast.
Yeah, interesting there. So State Green obviously not wasting a ban on that at least just yet. Parasite Sandwraith coming out by them. Nymphora Aluna were the bans, by the way, by tmsR. So they're going support-heavy bans here. I mean, it makes sense. You see State Green and what they have here.
I think their bans are actually really off base.
Yeah?
I feel like SG's gonna pick a really strong mid lane support. They're gonna go Prophet, maybe Glacius, Pyromancer, Tort's still on the book. See, Tort, I honestly, Nymphora, Luna are like the last two picks I could see them picking for support heroes.
Glacius is the final one, so yeah. They're going to ban. I mean, you do look at the supports that are left open. You see Torture is even being right-clicked by Z-Freak right here.
I mean, Nymphora is a clear ban. You have Dampier. I'm sorry. I was thinking clearly just the mid lane.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nymphora is obvious ban. You don't want to give them Nymphora Dampier. It's a very strong combination.
It is, yeah. And actually, okay, so you see, they don't ban Torture, but they actually pick it up right away themselves. So stay green. They're going to have to go maybe something like a Pyromancer here. That still stands out as a potential in terms of.
Yeah, they could go Pyro. I don't know. Something in my mind just says they're gonna go Prophet mid support, and then like something for Minus in the short lane support. Or wait, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I just want to say that's what it's gonna be, but I could be proven wrong.
That's actually, yeah. That I've heard the idea that Prophet has been kind of popping up here and there a couple of times. I don't know if we've seen him on Honcast actually just yet, but at least as of recently. But I mean, yeah, with those support heavies, the Torture and Engineer being picked up by tmsR, I guess it definitely could be possible. Or that, or Blitz.
Well, I'm pretty confident that's gonna be Minus here on the short lane support.
Wretched Hag.
Huh? You go Hag.
Short lane, I guess.
Well, they have a few options. They could do the famous Hag dueling with the Tort, which is fine because Tort's a really good zoner, and Hag would free farm. Or they could be going for the tri-lane with the Pebbles again, and just tri-lane against Dampier, which is also another good option.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, that is. You do look at the lineup of tmsR, and you kind of wonder a little bit what we ultimately are going to be seeing. But I guess the aggressive tri-lane is very likely.
I think actually I'm going to call Myrmidon right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about this. Oh god, I was in
what do you know?
Few conversations last night. I'm gonna call Myrmidon. Dang it!
Oh, you win for the different pick. It didn't happen. You go for Pyromancer. Well, why Myrmidon though?
I can't tell you why. Like, that's just not fair. But
all right.
I don't know. I just thought it was gonna be Myrmidon. I wouldn't say it's a different hero. I think he's kind of back in the meta game a little bit. Tri-lanes have been a little bit more frequent.
Yeah.
And he's the king of the tri-lanes. Like, yeah.
That's true. Definitely, and for what is very possibly, going to be a try versus try makeup here, that's definitely would have made sense. But in the end, they do go with the Pyromancer, so a little bit more aggressive there, some more burst opportunity coming out from him, of course, especially at the level 6. But Blitz support, it does end up in the hands of my nuts right there, as you suggested. I mean, what a Blitz support? What should we expect of this?
It's a really strong support hero. He has a good stun. He has a good slow and then he's with high damage support, which is a really good thing. He has the mobility with his Quicken, and his Lightning Shackle is a great teamfight controlling ability. He's a very good teamfight support, and that has good early map movements.
Yeah.
Let's see. Haxorin is not. Is anyone pulled regen? The Kraken is pulled 2 sets of regen. Oh my. I don't know. I don't feel like you would pull 2 sets of regen to Kraken if he was gonna put. I'm trying to. Maybe it's a Kraken mid and a tri-lane. I don't know. I'm not sure how they're going to lane this.
Yeah.
Probably a tri-lane top.
I'm thinking that, but is it going to involve the Kraken then instead of the Pebbles?
Yeah, it's going to be a Pebbles tri-lane.
Is it going to be Pebbles? Okay. So you do see right here, actually, is a possible interaction. Stay green, they're the ones that are playing a little bit passive. But look at the flank, actually. Pyromancer's in a pretty good position for a flank, but he's also in a bad position in terms of getting turned on, so it's not going to happen. And in the end, I believe that's how it's going to end. You see some trees being cut down right there with the hatchets, but that looks like it's going to be the end of the possible initiation. But yeah, it is going to be the Pebbles tri-lane up here. Sure enough, you see right there.
Maybe it's Hag mid, because if Hag was going bottom, surely they would have pulled the regen versus the Bubbles matchup. Yeah. So it's probably a Kraken bottom and then a Hag middle, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dampier and Bubbles going to the lanes here.
Yeah, those are the lanes. Yep. Where's Dampier? Is Dampier in the
middle? Okay,
Dampier's mid. All right, this is really good for SG. This is exactly what they want. They have a good triple stun short lane, tri lane, and they can definitely win this lane. And they also have the pole open right now, so that's really big for them. They should be able to get an experience boost on their supports. So that's a really good start for SG in the tri lane.
Well, we'll see. I mean, Engineer still has that ward of sight on him, so we'll see if he has the opportunity to possibly still play set up for a block, or maybe just even behind the tower, a very aggressive lane ward perhaps. But you do see right here, just it is going to be that try versus try, as we were talking about, again, involving Ravener. They could have done the Dampier idea, but obviously the downside of that, Dampier not maybe as effective. The triple stun wouldn't be there then with Ravener assisting, so choosing not to go that. Blitz is going to do the pull here off the bat, or I should say the stack, actually. As, oh, nope, it gets blocked right at the minute mark. Look at that. Engineer places the ward aside, and Blitz is like, damn it, that just happened. So we'll see if they invest into a rev ward. I would expect them to do so, right?
Yeah, it's, I guess a little surprising they don't start with the rev ward, but I guess they pulled regen to both side lane solos, and they wanted enough regen in lane.
Mm-hmm.
But a rev ward's coming out. I wouldn't be totally against just pulling this now to get some experience on the blitz, get level 2 a little bit faster. But they do have lane control right now, so I see the argument for just not pulling.
Oh, is he going to be able to find it, though? Okay, they do upgrade it. I was going to say without the upgraded courier, but they do upgrade it. And sure enough, there you go. So, dead ward of sight, and he will be able to stack it for the 2-minute. Will he actually pull it, as you were maybe suggesting before? No, it doesn't look like it. So he's just going to wait for the stack, yeah.
If you're going to counter the ward, you definitely want to stack it. It's such a big boost in experience and gold for your team, and while keeping lane control is always a good thing at tri-lane. Torch checks top rune, he gets invis. Maybe they can do something with this rune. It looks like he's going middle. Or no, he's going back top. Okay.
Not sure, yeah.
He might get spotted.
Yeah, I was going to say he kind of juked, but yeah, that rev ward, you got to remember. I mean, he's got to be aware of that, of course, that they just used that to counter the ward aside. So, yeah, he's playing it smart, and he's going the safe way around. So, the top lane, again, it's going on. I'm sure maybe some action going to be picking up here shortly, but before it does, let's take a quick look at the other lanes, see how those are going. Wretched Hag versus Dampier. Hag is currently 10-3, Dampier 10-2. So Dampier's actually holding his own here, it seems like, in the middle lane here, Center. It's actually, will we have some action? Torture, Invis. They're trying to set up. They're trying to take advantage right here. Engineer actually steals one of the creeps. It doesn't look like it's going to be initiation, though. But how about that middle matchup?
It's I guess it's pretty even right now in terms of CS because Dampier had pulled regen. He already went through 2 sets of regen. Because Hag is a very strong hero to face against a melee, especially with the nerf to deny. He definitely has the advantage because of the pulled regen. They're even as it is right now.
Yeah. The aggressiveness, I mean, we're not really seeing, no one's using abilities here at the top lane. Is that surprising? I mean, there's no action whatsoever so far.
SG doesn't really have to do anything in this lane because they have the pull advantage, and they just have to get incremental advantages in golden experience, and then they should come out ahead.
As I say that, here we go. Pebbles going to be bursting. Will it be enough for the Bloodlust kill? Kexon in the background. The auto attack's a nice stalagmite, but not enough. The final auto attack from Z-Freak gets the job done right there, and Bloodlust kill comes out for Stay Green. So it was close, but it was enough to take out Slicks there in the end. So obviously that's a huge start now for Stay Green.
And just something, look at the bottom lane. Limp is doing really good in this long lane solo. He has the same CS as Kraken.
Yeah.
And I guess Kraken had 2 sets of pulled regen. Though actually, maybe it's a pretty even matchup now with the nerf to deny. Actually, it probably is pretty even.
That does definitely hurt, but yeah, I mean, Keizu, the fact that he is tied pretty much neck for neck with this Bubbles is a little bit interesting to look at. So the other lanes, I mean, they're really even in the creep sense, the creep kill sense, obviously. So, and they continue to be that way, but it goes back to the top lane. That Bloodlust kill, obviously, huge for Stay Green. I mean, Ravener's farm on top of that. Him and Pebbles also pretty even on the creep farm, but that kill's working. Double damage on Dampier, by the way. He's going on to Wretched Hag. Not going to be a kill by any means, but actually this could come at a cost right here. He wants that kill. He's trying to kite him, though. Is Wretched Hag. It is going to be enough. Torture comes in with the impale, and down goes Dampier. The Sonar Scream for Hack going to finish him off, living life on the edge, and it does pay off. Look at that setup right there. Well played by Too Much Sugar.
Yeah, I did not see how Torque got there when he got there, but it looks like Haxton was baiting a bit for Chesty to go on him, because Chesty had to use the spells to harass the Hag because he went 3 points in Haunt. So if he just keeps the lane passive at that point, he's just going to lose it by default because of the harassment from 3 points in Haunt. It's just too much for him to handle.
So that's a great response for them. He hits level 6 now as well. And, Dampier's farm, obviously not taken off by any means. Only at 220 GPM. Do you expect him still to do what Dampier does, though? I mean, even with this matchup, how the laning phase is, you still expect the early Blood Chalice going into the jungle here and taking up the stacks, or?
They'll probably do stacks, but maybe not as early. He'll probably maybe look for some upgraded boots first. Maybe like I would imagine steam boots in this kind of game.
Top lane, actually, Ravener going to be initiated on right here. Chain reactions. I believe the chain reactions even missed, to be honest. He thought he was going to port. It doesn't matter, though. So it's both really was a good play when you think about it. Tankafet was expecting him to port with the ball lightning. He didn't, but in the end, they still kill him anyway, so it was a just in case. Pebbles, in the meantime, getting away from Kraken. The release the Kraken was used at the bottom, but now in the middle lane, all three lanes having some action. Wretched Ag, Kenshi blink away in time, 3 seconds. Rage Armor not going to go off right there. 1 second, the blink. Oh, it doesn't matter, actually. The bottom charges are enough. Pebbles trying to kill Dampier. That's not going to happen, though. And now Slicks is in some trouble himself. He's on the run. You see Blitz right here. Going to be using that pilfering, slowing him down, speeding himself up. In comes a Blitzkrieg, and down goes Pebbles right there. So beautiful turnaround play coming out from Stay Green in that middle lane. So action picking up at old 3. We're now at 2-2 hero kills here.
Yeah, the game's. I guess the game's pretty even. I think Pebbles is a little bit less farmed than some of the Melons. Where on the other side you have Dampier suffering a little bit compared to the Hag. But surprisingly, in this bottom lane, Kraken went bottle. Usually you see Krakens just go like a fast hum of the Black Legion.
Yeah.
This is a little bit more telling that he wants to maybe get more involved in the game. He doesn't want to wait to farm 2,000 gold to then start doing stuff. He wants to get involved now or as soon as possible.
Yeah. Wretched Hag, actually, middle lane. Look at this. 4 players are here. They really want to kill this Ravener that is here. But Ravener does have the early Mystic Vestment, so bulking up a little bit and very smart here against this Legion team. It is one of the Melons after all, so not too surprised to see that. But they really want this kill middle, man. I mean, they are sitting around as 4 players waiting for the opportunity. This almost seems like this is a little bit of wasted time here by tmsR, especially if they don't get anything.
Yeah, and they're not getting anything. What? Sunamon's is not taking the bait. It's like he knows it's here. I mean, it's because it's pretty obvious, right? No one's top. Literally 3 heroes missing from lane.
Yeah.
Only 1 hero showing bottom. And the Bubbles wasn't even bottom, so obviously the only lane they're setting up on is mid. And it's way too early in the game to be doing stacked Ancients.
Yeah. Dampier, he is doing the jungle stacks here now. He has there's the Blood Chalice being delivered. He has the bottle on top of that. He, of course, usually doesn't go the bottle, but being in the middle lane there, it helps with some extra regen even. So here comes the working on the stack. So yeah, tmsR losing a bit of time there as far as farm goes. But now Pebbles is back to the top lane. He's trying to recover. His farm isn't the greatest so far. He's only about 190 gold per minute. Obviously being 0-2 and 1 here. As far as his hero kill stats, definitely reflect that. Middle lane, you still see Torture. I mean, he's trying to wait for an opportunity. If anything, looking to help Wretched Hag in case she gets jumped. But Ravener and Pyromancer, they're not going to be going for that just yet. Blitz is coming in. So we'll see. There's the chain of reactions. Ooh, he was channeling up the Bat Blast, it looked like. But again, that was more of just a fake. There was no way he was actually going to be going for that. There's the Ball Lightning initiation, though. Where's the follow-up? Dragonfire's down. Chain reactions come out. Hits all 3, though. The Bat Blast in response. Ravener's in trouble. Ravener's going to end up falling. They do get... No, Wretched Hag blinks away, actually. Now Blitz is in trouble. Torture, the final out attack. He denies him. Well played by Z-Freak right there. But wow. Huge chain reaction from Tankafet right there. Huge turnaround. The Bat Blast to set that up. Or the Bat Blast to obviously work off of the chain reactions. So it kind of makes sense. I mean, Tankafet, again, he was waiting there for a while. And obviously the patience definitely paid off right there in his favor. And then in the meantime, Kraken actually now pushing this bottom lane. Kraken's actually at 320 gold per minute, man. You talked about that earlier on Bottle getting himself involved. And actually, there you go. He buys a Trinket of Restoration. I wonder if he's just going to be selling that here, just fighting for the regen, or if he's actually going for the... Okay, yeah.
He goes for the sell. Oh, mid lane, a little bit of action.
Ravener getting caught right here. This is going to be a trio of stunts coming out. Ravener, no chance. The TP's coming in, but they're just way too late. So, too much sugar. They're getting some big kills here.
Yeah, they're getting some big kills. Their supports are getting levels. But the main negative really is that their Pebbles is really underfarmed. He has just Stain Boots almost at the 10-minute mark, which is not really where you want to be on this hero. He is quite a snowballer, and with this kind of late start, he's not going to have the same impact that a hero like Pebbles normally does have in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is a downside here for tmsR. I mean, with that said, do you think they should be moving Slicks to either the mid or even the short lane here at this point? And they keep setting up top, it looks like.
If they do it do enough with Slicks like in this kind of roaming role with the other heroes, I guess it's fine keeping him top. If as a result, say like the Kraken and the Hag get really big, and they are really high level right now, so they're in prime position to start taking off in this game. So what they're doing could work. They just got to keep, doing it. But in the top lane,
yeah, here we go. The flight, the consume. Holy crap! Engineer said no chance. Pebbles not sure what he was thinking right here. They have TPs coming, and he's buying time. That's what it looks like. Wretched Egg blink it in. They do kill Pebbles, but will it come at a cost now? Release the Kraken. No, the flight is used, and Dampier jukes the release of Kraken. Wretched Egg dropping. Wretched Egg will fall. In comes Ravener. The Shell Surf, the Kelpfield coming out from Pebbles as well. Towards her. No, the Tsunami charge away, actually. It doesn't matter. A double tap for Swindle, a hat trick for Z-Freak, and a genocide for Stay Green. Well, that could not have been any worse for Too Much Sugar, and any better for Stay Green. Holy crap.
Was that a 5 for 0?
It was a 5 for 0.
Oh my god. How many kills did Z-Freak get? 4?
Z-Freak got 3 that fight, and Swindle got 2.
Oh, that was really big for Stay Green. Now Slicks is he's still on the same items. I think at this point he just has to farm his way back into the game. It's going to be a long time before he gets his portal key. And that's not really where you want to be as Pebbles, but I guess the Hag is still really high level, Kraken is still really high level. I think they have to get some kills when their ultimates are back up. They can't really sit back and farm. It's not really going to go well for them, especially when you have a Dampier and the other team just taking stacks.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you look at Dampier, he is starting to get more and more to that scary place. 380 gold per minute now, as you just mentioned, continuing to take out the stacks right here. Obviously, Stay Green playing around Dampier as you should, and it is showing now. The light brand is... I don't know if it's actually purchased just yet, but it is going to be here shortly no matter what. Bubbles farm, that's kind of picked up. I mean, outside of Dampier, it isn't really the most impressive, but, I mean, hell, Z-Freak's second on his team right now at 260 gold per minute, so it kind of shows you where they're at. But they have the Dampier factor, and it is working, and more so even, I mean, tmsR, again, you mentioned Pebbles just is not getting anything going in this game so far. And Slicks is just trying his best to find that. Kraken also, he was having a pretty good time. He was upwards of about 320 gold per minute even at a point. But it's not really showing. I mean, Oli still has a Steam Boots in a bottle here.
Well, he has quite a bit of build-up. Usually you don't see Dampiers go bottle investments when they're in the short lane free farm. That's another one. That's a 1,100 gold that normally you wouldn't have it.
I'm talking about Kraken, actually.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he went for the bottle. He hasn't really been there for any kill. He hasn't gotten any kills or assists. He's farmed well, probably, right? 65 CS is pretty solid. But that's mainly why he's not, taking off by any means. No towers, no hero kills on him.
Yeah.
Well, that one death is hurting him quite a bit.
Yeah. So here we are, 7-4 hero kill lead for Stay Green. Obviously, that top fight, a 5-0 exchange, especially this early on. I mean, that really sets a statement. So tmsR kind of playing from behind here earlier on, but definitely still doable by all means. And it starts with keeping Dampier in check, getting some kills, getting recovery on Pebbles, if anything. But being 0-3-2, again, only 220 gold per minute. He has build-up. He has the Vestments, the Steam Boots, the bottle. So you expect the Portal Key going to be next. But again, that is still pretty damn off. Only 550 gold currently saved up. Middle lane, are they going to set up? No, Wretched Hag. Going to see the illusions made to look like there's actually more there, but Wretched Hag going to be fine. And speaking of that, too, I mean, Haxor's farm also hasn't been the biggest either. It is at 300 gold per minute just about right now, so not too shabby. He did go the bottle. He has an aim of the Exile and has the Steam Boots, but you thinking that he is going to still go that normal, the light brand into Grimoire route here?
I could. Oh, no, he goes to buy the Grimoire. Okay, it's probably going to be the light brand into Grimoire. If he didn't buy the Grave Block, I was going to say he could go Icon if they want to force early fights.
Okay.
Which I feel they should force early fights because you don't want to allow Dampier to get to the really huge level. Like right now, it's like okay, he's a 400 gold per minute. You can deal with that. But if he gets to like the 600 mark, it's going to be another story, and it's going to be way too difficult.
Yeah. Well, we middle lane, look at this. Kraken is here. Kraken's here with the Infiz. They are trying. He has a release to Kraken. Will it be enough? Can Limp react is the question. And vulnerability actually being used, by the way. That was for the bottom tower, looks like. There's the deny coming out right. Blitz right there. So well played. Middle lane. Power Mancer now coming in. There's the shell set. They're going to go, but here comes Kraken. Release the Kraken. Comes out and catches Bubbles off guard. They burst down Wretched Hag, and Bubbles does go down as well. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 exchange when it's all said and done. But at least they were able to respond themselves with that invisible Kraken. But trading kills is probably not what you want to be doing here for your tmsR in this case. So I think
I think
Steak still pretty happy.
the big thing is you're losing like your number 1 farmer / number 2 farmer in the Hag.
Yeah.
For the number 3. Like I mean, yeah, the resource trade was pretty even, but the Hag kind of needs a snowball in this kind of game to get something going. You know, he has to get the Grimoire, he has to get the sheep, etc. Where Pebbles really just needs a blink dagger, and he's like that's good enough.
Yeah. Ancients, you see Pyromancer going to stack that again. Z-Freak start, holy crap, 240 gold per minute right now. He's had a great time. He already has full Steam boots. He actually has 840 gold saved up, so obviously he's still buying those Mortis sites, but he is feeling good for being that support especially. Blitz, on the other hand, Blitz has Ghost Marchers, a Soul Scream Ring, probably going to be building that Energizer, I'm sure. Seems like that's a pretty good item on Blitz, so that's going to be coming out. And what about Blitz as well with his skill set? Again, we don't really see this hero too often. Is he kind of a bursty hero with that ultimate and whatnot?
He's kind of bursty with his pilfering. It lowers their movement speed, which I think his damage is increased by like movement speed reduction, right? Or
yeah.
Like the difference. So yeah, he does a lot of magic damage. You know, with the pilfering and the blitzkrieg, and his ultimate does a lot of damage too. So you should look for this support to do a lot of damage in early game team fights and an AOE, kind of similar to Engineer.
Yeah.
In terms of damage output.
Yeah, so like having him and Pyromancer, obviously two, in a sense, kind of more bursty style supports coming out right here for Staker. And in fact, there's the Energizer finished for Blitz. So he only has the level 1 Quicken, but it is kind of one of those 1.1 durabilities that you don't need to be maxing that out by any means as soon as possible. And the 1 point alone is actually pretty damn good. So yeah, he's going to be taking advantage of that. It looks like I might be doing a little bit of a lag spike here. So it happens every now and then. Okay, I should be back now. Anyways, there we go with the Neophytes book purchased by Wretched Hag. So Lightbrand is going to be on the way here for Wretched Hag, but still needs a little bit more time. But you look back at Dampier, again, Chessie's farm, it is continuing to grow and grow. 422 gold per minute now and counting. That Grimoire power is going to be coming out here very shortly, as actually it's cleaning up Ancients right here. Holy crap, he's stuck though! Oh no! Okay, oh, that was scary. They were actually completely surrounding him right there, and you can tell he was a little bit panicked right there, but he used the terror, and he was fine at the end. So he's going to clean this up, and he's going to at least have the Blessed Orb. And again, well on that way to that Grimoire, and well, again, we all know what can happen, especially with that pickup. Including that, he's also level 14 as well. Again, this hero just never ceases to impress in terms of how quickly he builds up. Pebbles is just about there, Sender. He almost has it. He has just about 2,000 gold saved up, so gets that portal key. I mean, do they need to go, or what?
I think they could play a resource game. They honestly do have the better late game if they can control the Dampier out just a little bit. If they can, say, block Ancients repeatedly for like the next, I don't know, say like 10 minutes or so, that would do a lot for them. That's the thing they should be looking to do: block Ancients, limit Dampier's farm.
Yeah.
But you know, maybe they will just take team fights with the Pebbles portal key. But I think more towards the resource control game.
Yeah.
I think that's a game tmsR is going to play. I don't think they're going to group up and push anytime soon.
Ancients on the Legion side. You see Mumiender right here. Going to be stacking them up, so getting that taken care of. And there you go. Portal key is picked up on Pebbles once again. So he wants to go for Blitz. Yeah, but he can't kill it by himself, believe it or not. I mean, that's a level 11 Blitz with Mystic Vestments here, so I don't think he could kill him by himself.
And he's level 9. Like, you're not used to seeing that.
Exactly. So it's a secondary support that's 2 levels higher than your Pebbles, and who just got his portal key now. So yeah, probably not going to be happening in terms of that kill unless he gets some support TPing in or something. But in the meantime, you do see tmsR. They are actually 4 of them grouped up here in the middle. So, and that's another thing to note, actually. What is a tower situation like? Stay Green has yet to kill a tower. They have yet to kill a tower, actually. And the fact that they're up 5,400 gold, that's even more impressive. Obviously, tmsR's only killed 1 tower themselves, but still, that's scary.
It just really comes down to that one team fight top.
Oh, yeah.
I think SG's been a little bit better in stacking, but it's mostly just because due to their strategy involving a Dampier. You just generally want to stack a lot for Dampier in the early game. But, I think Blitz actually wants to get killing his Pebbles.
How about that? Wouldn't that be something? Yeah, Pebbles is already low, so yeah, if he gets it right here, he's going to charge it. No! The portal key from Slicks. A little bit too quick, but no doubt Blitz could have gotten a kill right there if he landed with Blitzkrieg or something, so. Pebbles a little bit, I almost wanted to say luck, but no, that was definitely just good reaction coming out by Slicks. Spotting him incoming, so well played on his part, able to stay alive at least, but this goes back to this classic case that you have a portal key, an item that gives you 0 stats. It's just simply for porting around, especially on a hero like Pebbles for getting kills. But he's under-leveled. I mean, we just talked about that, especially against the Blitz. These are farm support. There's no one here on the Hellborn team that's like, oh, that's an absolute free kill. Pyromancer maybe still a little bit, I guess. He does have Steam Boots, but they aren't intellect even right now, so maybe not. And Dampier also level 15 now. He has the Grimoire. Wretched Hag, it seems like she is getting better and better, though. 353 gold per minute. As that life brand, it is taking effect here at least.
So Breaky, are you just trying to point out that Pebbles shouldn't have gone portal key, or they just doesn't have the start?
Not necessarily. It's just more so stressing the point that it sucks, honestly. That
it's not as effective as it otherwise could have been, but yeah, it's still a necessary item. They need the initiation for the team if they wanted to get hero kills, take team fights.
Yeah,
it's something there to start the fight, so say Hag and Crack can follow up on Pebbles.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they want to get involved in a team fight. You know, I'm kind of nervous about this because I feel like if they lose this fight, the game is like almost over. Whereas they could just, aim for a resource game.
Yeah.
And just take the game longer. But, they want to take a fight. It's kind of risky, but, it could pay off in the end. If they do win this, they're kind of like right back into it.
Well, Pyromancer just ported middle. I mean, it doesn't look like they're going to be fighting. So, yeah, that's going to be a free tower kill. Stay Green decides it's best to just exchange towers at this point. So, they're not going to go for fight, at least just yet. But, well, too much sugar. I mean, are they going to keep pushing? Wretched Hag blinking away. She's going to clean up some jungle maybe. But I think they might. They realize that their secondary tower is getting beat on mid. So, tmsR are going to choose to keep going. What do you think here, Sander? Should they, or should they get back, or what?
Well, Engineer needs to get a teleport, so there's really no other course of action.
Yeah.
Right now, they need all 5 heroes to take a fight, and that's just they need all 5.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. So
the Hellborn have destroyed a Legion tower.
Oh, there you go. It goes down. They are going to get the top tower, at least it looks like. So it's not absolutely the worst case scenario.
No, I mean, it was an even exchange, 2 for 2. Personally, I think tmsR dodging fights is not a bad strategy. Yeah. They have a really strong core heroes if they can just get their farm up, being the Kraken and the Hag mostly. And they have 2 strong supporting cast in terms of like damage and a little bit of crowd control. So I kind of would like them to play split push game. Just try to drag the game out as long as they can, and just try to take it in the late game.
Yeah. You see Ravener, what did he just get right there? Whew, shrunken head. So how about that, actually? Swinamounts, known for going the Insanitarius first, but this game, he rushes straight into the shrunken head here.
I kind of like it. There's really no way for him to die as long as he gets it off at this stage. There is torture, impale, obviously auto attacks, and Kraken is a little bit physical with the splash, and I don't know the ultimate's magic damage, but he still gets stunned in the center. But I kind of like it. I think it'll just make him put out his damage in team fights pretty easily.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, this Legion team definitely does scream. We want to be able to be mobile against them as well as mitigate damage, and Shrunken Head is obviously the perfect item for that. So makes sense there. The Grimoire power coming up quickly now for Wretched Hag. He just about has it. In fact, he's going back to base right now, I believe. There's the purchase of the Blessed Orb. I think he's just shy of the pattern, but he is going to be having here very, very shortly. Look at Dampier, though. Not only does he already have the Grimoire, but he has a portal key on top of that, and he is upwards now. He hits the 500 gold per minute mark right there. We're 23.5 minutes in. So has the Grimoire, has the portal key. I can safely assume that he, too, is going to be going for the Shrunken Head here, so once that hits, that obviously is a really crucial point that tmsR really needs to be scared of, frankly. So
Kraken right-click the barrier idol, which I find a little strange. It's kind of telling that they want to get involved in this game. They want to take fights, and they want to maybe control Dampier, who really 500 gold per minute is good for him, but it's not like that scary, like, oh my god, Dampier, guys, he's gonna kill us all.
Yeah.
But he is still a threat, obviously. But I think just buying late game items would be the better way. But they're gonna try to aim for the mid game, it looks like, or maybe otherwise you would never buy a barrier idol in this kind of position.
Yeah. All right, but so he does go the barrier idol. We'll see if that pays off here for too much sugar.
It is a big item for these fights,
It is, yeah.
There's no denying that. So like 400 HP for 5 heroes, it's a big deal.
And it's a lot of magic focus, pretty much all magic focus on the Hellborn team as well. So yeah, it makes sense from that perspective, but you can see where you're coming from. They are going to push here. tmsR, look at, so you said that earlier you weren't too sure about that. What do you think about now? You think this is smart?
I don't. Ooh, that could have been a big kill field if SG are ready. I guess SG just want to play it safe. They want to wait for their shrunken head on Dampier before they take any fights.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm reading the game wrongly, but I feel like SG could take fights here, but like, they prefer not to. They just want to keep farming.
I think it's what you said. I mean, getting the shrunken head on Dampier is just playing the absolute safest route here is stay green. So get that, then very likely look to take fights. And tmsR, you know, I think they're calling that at the same time. They're saying, you know, we realize that, so we are going to take advantage and pushing towers here. So they got 5 tower kills now.
They also have an Astrolabe on Tor. That's actually a pretty big deal. When you have this Astrolabe Barrier Idol combo at the mid game and the other team doesn't, that's like they're behind gold and they have these 2 big team fight items. That's 600. That's about 600 HP to all your heroes if you get it off. So that's actually really important. You know, they probably could take a team fight right now and win it with this amount of like mid game item they have on their supports or on the supporting cast.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, you look at that blitz here. Speaking of supporting cast, I mean, Tablet Energizer, he just purchased a Mighty Blade, I believe, so even he's going to be working on that shrunken head here. ASAP, going to be coming out, so that's definitely a big deal for him. The shrunken head on Dampier, 2,300 gold saved up just about, so not 24. Of course, he needs a 2,900 gold mark, and then he will be able to right-click that. Ravener has another nearly 2,000 gold saved up, so he too is going to be having it next year, probably something like a portal key. I would assume going to be coming out from him perhaps, as he has enough now for it, so we'll see if that is the case. Pebbles also looking really strong. Portal key tablet on him, plenty of build-up. So Limp has done well, and there's the portal key on Ravener. So Shrunken Head in the works for Wretched Hag, as well as Pebbles, but they are a little bit further behind than that of Stay Green. In fact, there's the Shrunken on Dampier. There's a portal key on Pyromancer. Man, these are some farmed all-around heroes, even the supporting cast here on Stay Green.
Yeah, indeed. They are quite farmed, and it's because they got a little bit more. The kills early on allowed their supports, obviously, to get the head start, and with a head start, you know, they're not dying to heroes like Pebbles, and they're able to farm deeper, and that early lead snowballs a little bit to being able to farm the map more.
Yeah.
Though Engineer and Torch really aren't doing bad. It's like they're doing pretty solid. Like they're both sitting on some pretty core items. You know, Astrolabe on Torch pretty big. They just don't have as much gold, and I think most of the lead is actually how the Pebbles differential to say like maybe like the Raven at like the Dampier, I guess.
You look at Congo now being attempted there by Stay Green, so they're trying to get something out of this. I mean, there is no vision. Legion team, tmsR is completely blind at the Congo pit, so they would have to get an assumption. But you see they had or that was Blitz still bought him, so it's not 100% sure they're doing Congo, but they are going to fall back, actually. They're not going to 100% go for it. And in fact, they're going to jump right here in the middle line. Here's the jump from Striker. Quick burst out of the Wretched Hag. Pebbles gets caught as well. The energy field comes out, but it might not be enough. Kraken can't even get it to release the Kraken off. He can, but he falls. Torture's in trouble. Torture's going to go down. And that was just a beautiful jump from Stay Green. And just like that, Stay Green takes game number 1. Here in this best out of 5 series. So they were doing the Congo, kind of just baiting out too much sugar, if anything. And that worked perfectly. I mean, they all just jumped at the same time, and, well, we saw the end result there, Sender.
Yeah, I think it was a brilliant silence by Limp. They instantly blew up the Hag before it could really do anything, and when that happens, there's really not much else to say in that kind of team fight. It's pretty much just over for tmsR, as you saw pretty clearly.
Yeah. Wow, too much sugar. Definitely, they were not ready for that fight, and obviously that showed. So, well fought by Stay Green. I mean, honestly, I think it's safe to say you look back at where that game maybe really took off. It was that top lane, the 5-0 exchange. That had to be pre-10 minutes even. I mean, that was still very early on in the game. You have a 5-0 exchange like that. At that point, it was actually still pretty even, of course. Right after that, though, it was like, wow, that lead just started to take off, and Dampier had the Dampier effect that we all know and love, and tmsR, well, they don't love it as much, I'm sure, especially after that game. What's the deal now? I mean,